Okay, motherboard restoration. Hello everyone and welcome back to a very poor motherboard. This is a board that I found recently at the scrapyard and it jumped to the very front of my list because of all this green and blue stuff that's on the board. And I know many of you will be like, why do you even bother with this? I want to know if it's possible to restore it. I know this is in very terrible condition. Look at the back of this board. So you have this entire area that is affected by the battery liquid that leaked all over the board, as it looks like. Our favorite friend here in the corner doesn't... Well, it looks kind of innocent. It looks like it didn't do anything. But it's responsible for all this damage. Okay, so let's get this thing off. That looks terrible. I think before I try to desolder all these, we have 1, 2, 3 ISA slots that are affected, I need to get rid of those. I cannot keep them. They're definitely not going to be recoverable. But before I'm going to remove these, let's go under the microscope and drip some vinegar on this area. I want to just see what's happening, and we have to get these BIOS chips off because it looks like all the corrosion spread under these sockets. Luckily they are socketed. So is the keyboard controller. By the way, this is a Chine Tech motherboard. This is the 325HX, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I'll put it on the screen. I just read a little bit about this board. There is nothing really special. It supports up to 8 megabytes of memory. It has a Headland chipset, and there is an AMD 386SX-25 CPU on it. And we can see also here is our 50 megahertz crystal. This is responsible for our 25 megahertz on the CPU. And this one, the 32 megahertz, is most likely responsible for our ISA bus, which runs at 8 megahertz, which is 1/4 of this crystal. Oh wow! This BIOS chip looks perfect. Thank you, socket. Okay, apart from this bent pin, everything is good. This bent pin was me. This looks also good. Okay. Not bad. Oh, and we have some chips under here. Okay, so first look, I don't know, it looks like it's more on the surface, hopefully, because we see some vias here. If everything went inside and destroyed the connection, well, then we have a problem. But let's see. Let's just go under the microscope and have a little bit fun with the corrosion. But before we get closer to the board, a quick word from today's sponsor. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for your project needs and the perfect partner to bring your ideas to reality. They offer a wide variety of services, including CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. PCBWay is best known for their expertise in PCB manufacturing though. I have used their services for many of my projects. The most recent ones are the 3 clip-on boards to upgrade your Sound Blaster AW64 to 28 megabytes. The best part is that those boards are available at PCBWay's shared project space, so you can easily order your batch of PCBs and assemble one yourself. I also provide the required programming for the logic ICs as well as schematics if you're interested. If all of this sounds amazing, then I encourage you to visit PCBWay.com and browse through their offerings. Links are in the video description. We do see a slight green cover on the sockets, so these ones have to be replaced. Let's get closer to the keyboard connector. Okay, there are 2 caps that are gone. Here I still have the top part. 47. This is the wrong side. Probably this is also 47. Ooh. Wow. Don't know if there's part of the board. No. The board is fine. It's just a... maybe not. Ooh. Look at this. Have you ever seen a nicer corroded ISA slot? So almost nothing happened here on our power connector. I wonder if we have to take this off or not. Ooh. Let's try some vinegar. Wow, that was a lot of work, and I'm not even done. You can see that I'm still missing a few ISA slots, and the back of the board is still missing the solder mask, which I will add once I can confirm that this board is working. But yeah, this was by far the most time-consuming restoration project I have ever done. All these traces had to be retinned and covered with solder mask. I also tested all these ICs that are also under the keyboard controller and under the BIOS chips. I tested them in my programmer. I also socketed the chips that could be socketed. I replaced the tantalum capacitors with electrolytic capacitors next to the power connector because these ones are the ones that are usually exploding, specifically the ones on the 12-volt lines, positive or negative. So yeah, we'll see this. This is still no guarantee that not any of the other capacitors is going to explode, so we have to be careful. I will wear safety goggles while powering on this board for the very first time. I will use my post analyzer card on Tony's 90-degree bracket, so yeah, we'll have a nice view on the numbers. Hopefully, we'll not see dashes. Let's try this board and see if all this work was worth it. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if this board works. Uh-oh. Okay, we are not yet done with this board. Well, that was really unexpected. Getting dashes is not what I wanted to see. But here we are. The first thing I tried then was to replace the BIOS chips, because getting dashes could be related to a corrupted BIOS. And to my surprise, I got postcodes! But we shouldn't get too excited about it, because initially the board just boot looped. So every time the board initialized and passed the memory check, it just reset and then it ended up here and it just kept restarting. Now what I've noticed is that over time, the board seemed to become more stable. Initially, it just restarted multiple times, and then it took longer and longer and longer until the board restarted. More about this a bit later. And additionally, there is also a keyboard error. Okay, so I still have a problem with this board that it boot loops and I have a keyboard interface error. First thing I want to take care of is the keyboard issue, because the boot loop may maybe be related to this. But yeah, let's look at our keyboard controller quickly. So it's here. I already probed around with my oscilloscope here. And on the left side here, you see pins 19. This is the second from the bottom up to pin number 12. These are data pins. So if I measure pin number 19, and you see we did a reset right now. So if I measure pin number 19, I get data. Pin number 18, it's either high or low. So this one here seems to be stuck at 4 volts and now it's... Yeah, so there is something going on, but it doesn't look like data. So let's continue with the next one. Next pin. Okay, this is data. This is now pin number 17. 16. 15. 14. 13. And 12. So these are all my data pins. I think the next one is something else. Yeah, this is the synchronization signal, sync signal. So the data pins all look like this, but the pin next to now is completely dead. So I need to figure out where this pin is supposed to be connecting to, because right now I don't see data, and that may be our issue why the keyboard doesn't work on this board. So it looks like we have a broken trace. So the keyboard controller connects to this chip here. And the next pin to the next one, and the next one to the next one. So there's a pattern here. This one should connect to this, but it doesn't. And the last data pin is connected here again. So this one is not connecting. Yeah, I could only figure that out by running the system. Yes, of course, I could have measured all the traces here, but there were so many small micro cracks in all these traces. It was very hard to follow through. So yeah, maybe this was not very ideal for me to already apply solder mask on this board. But yeah, it seems like it would have been better to really pay a lot of attention to these traces. I did measure the majority of the traces. Some of them I ignored because, well, they looked fine to me. Well, I think I learned my lesson. Yeah, so now I need to figure out how to fix this trace. I did indeed find a broken trace in this area, which connects to this chip. It's fixed now, the connectivity is there. Let's see what happens if we can get into the BIOS. Actually, first let's see if we get postcodes. Yep. Okay. Yes! Oh my goodness! I have not come that far. Wow, that is exciting. That board was a total train wreck. And our seconds are running, so this is good. I just wonder if this board is now stable. But let's see. I don't want to say anything yet. So I have no drives installed right now. That's okay. We have 4 megabytes of memory. That's also good. Advanced CMOS. What do we have? We have... Okay, these are nothing special here. If you have noticed, this board does not have cache. So yeah, this is a very, very poor performing mother. Oh no, we did the reset. Ah, we still have the reset. Okay, so let me try this. Oh, this one was saved. Let's update this. Okay, this one seems to work. Interesting. If you have an idea what could be the reason for this, let me know in the comments, because I think I spent too much time on this board already. But yeah, like this, the board is unusable. But we got into the BIOS. I'm happy about that. Come on. Yes! Okay, it's booting. We're in DOS. Okay. Okay, 24 megahertz. That's correct. Let's quickly see the benchmarks. 17. Ooh. Not sure what's going on with our turbo button. And we have a random reboot. Sad. Okay, I still don't know how I can fix that. As I said, if you have any idea what to check for, please let me know. Okay, so the turbo switch doesn't seem to make a difference. Let's go into the BIOS quickly. I also changed the memory, so the reset was not because of the memory. I think it was here. Turbo switch function. If I click on disabled. There is no difference in speed. That feature doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, so we have a 386 from AMD, 25 megahertz. CPU performance is a little bit slower than a DX25. Unfortunately, we don't have an SX25. But I think because we only have a 16-bit data bus, it could be that this processor is a little bit slower in this benchmark than the DX25. So no, there is no difference if I trigger the turbo button. Turbo switch function enabled. Turbo feature doesn't seem to make any difference. Let's try main system benchmarks. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, this is also what we saw in NSSI. Memory, we can test the memory quickly. Because, oh. Let's see if we can reproduce this. Oh. Maybe it's just some dirty memory sockets. So I get this issue with any memory module that I put in there. So maybe we have an issue with the memory somehow. Every time we are accessing a certain area in the memory, it fails. Could be that it's related to a weak solder joint. Yeah, so this is very obvious now that this is a memory issue. I think I tested this now more than enough that we can clearly see that this is an issue with the memory. I'm not doing anything right now. Let's see if we're just entering that problem when we're on that screen. When I start the test, the system is going to crash. So let's try that. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Reproducible. I'll try to clean the sockets and then let's see if we get a change in behavior. Okay, I cleaned the memory sockets, put some deoxit in it, and let's see if the system behaves differently. No. So we still have a problem that we randomly restart, and it is happening when we are accessing the memory. Okay, 4 memory modules, 256 kilobytes each, for a total of 1 megabyte of system memory. And I think I should go into the BIOS and add some wait states. Yeah, so we don't have enough memory for HiMem and EMM 386. Oh, interesting. Aww. We have a problem with the random resets. Unfortunately, at least I can reproduce it, so if you have any ideas what we could try with this board, let me know. Now we reset just like that while I was talking. So yeah, these are the random resets that we still have with this board. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and yeah, I basically wasted 3 days trying to get this board to work. We got somewhere, but not where we wanted to be. Still, I learned a lot once more restoring a board like this, and this is why I do it, just to gain more experience. Okay, then thank you PCBWay for sponsoring this video, and also thank you to all my Patreon who are supporting this channel and my work. If you want to become a Patreon, please head over to Patreon and pick one of the membership tiers. Even a small contribution is helping out this channel a lot, and I can bring you restorations like this. So thank you so much for your time, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye. 5.1. I think this is a very poor result. I'm not sure, I never had a system like this, but I think it's terrible. And here's our reset.